Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, where gravity and mass meet friction, and the ramp decides the results. We got a bit of a really rainy day outside. Storms, we got, trees around us, all kinds of craziness. But you know what? You still might want to subscribe, please. Hit that like, because I'm starting to amass a few things that will be used for giveaways down the road. So, look at this. A little bit of a teaser. Mini GT. One will be used in the lab for measurement and, testing and all of that stuff. I'm going to save the other one for a giveaway down the road. So we need to be building up these subscribers. I think last time I looked, there were maybe 20 or 24. Most of the folks I can't see. I can see like 3 and one of the folks I know. So anyway, think about subscribing if you don't mind, sharing if you find this to be fun or interesting or anything along those lines. Okay, so that's it. That's my shameless swag, etc. So I'm gonna set these aside because something I found out about yesterday. My grandniece actually follows this channel. So she found out that I was doing it and was kind of like, oh my gosh. So this is going to be dedicated to her. And we are going to do, because she loved this as a kid. Now she just turned 18. But she said that she actually likes kind of, has fun watching some of these videos. So you know who you are. I won't mention the name on here, but this is for you, kiddo. Boom. We're doing it today. We've got the Barbie camper. This is the Dream Camper from the Mattel line. This is number 1 of 5, I think. Yeah, 1 of 5. And we are going to, you know what? How about this? Rather than me read this off to you, why don't we do this unboxing right now, okay? So stick with us. Here we go. Boom. There she is. The Barbie camper by Mattel. We're going to get this puppy out in a sec after we always do the usual. Take a look. Playful designs inspired by decades of timeless and iconic toys from Mattel. So I grew up in the 60s, mid to late 60s, early 70s. My sister had, her Barbie stuff and a lot of clothes. I had the Ken doll, a lot of clothes. Used to just spend hours of time, using our imaginations and just, I don't know, having fun with just playing with the clothes and trying things on and all that. No, I didn't become a fashion designer. And I really gravitated more to the Matchbox Hot Wheels lines, but I do remember having a really great time with my sister, who is my grandniece's grandmother. Anyway, so let's get this thing. Bottom right, we've got the, because I'm trying not to be an amateur. Once again, Grateful Sam, GR, the number 8. Look at that. Just peels right off like butter. Once again. Okay, I don't know what weight class this is going to fall into. Let's see. Let me see if I can guess. This feels, because of the size and the way it feels, I'm thinking this is going to be at the low end of the C class. The C weight class. All right, so we're going to move the accoutrement, the packaging accoutrement. Wow. How funny would it be if this was like one of the fastest vehicles? These wheels feel pretty smooth. So as usual, let's do this close-up. Got the Barbie, because you know what? These vehicles aren't just for boys. Not that I'm trying to do a gender role here, but come on. This thing looks like it would be a blast to go on a long trip cross-country in. Sides, look at all that artwork about camping, the outdoors. Got your ladder, your spare tire. I mean, what else? What more could you want? You got the sunroof, moonroof. I like that you really have a pretty good view of what's going on inside. Let's see if I can get I don't know if I get quite the lighted angle for the back. All right, so let's see where this thing is made. Malaysia. Most of them, Malaysia. I like this purple bottom. So this well, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to double check. I mean, this feels like plastic, but there's also another thing in here. Oh, does this have a this? I don't know. We may have to check some out. I feel like there's a moving part here. So we got a little tab down here, and there it looks like there's a way to open this. Oh my goodness. All right. Stick with me. Spend a little we're going to spend a minute here and see if this is something that can be opened. Okay, I'm feeling that there is. I'm going to use the key from one of my tools. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Oh, maybe this way. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you got to go to the top. Look at that. You got a nice little step out. So now we can really see what's going on in here. That was worth taking a little extra time. You got the seats. Yeah, come on. Who would want to cruise in this thing? Come on now. Colorful, vibrant. It's all about the outdoors. Okay. Wow. There we go. Well, I think that's going to work. We're feeling like it's going to roll pretty good. It's going to get these measurements in, figure out what weight class it's in, figure out how it's going to like measure up, and then we'll get her on the short form drag strip because, hey, all the vehicles, even Barbie, got to do the short form drag strip, right? Back at you in a mode. So we just finished up the measurements. Yes, it was at the low end of the C weight class, which I suspected, very top heavy, of course, which I suspected, but it was a metal base. I had to confirm that because it felt like it and it sounded like it, but there was something about it I wasn't sure. But it typically comes in either purple or pink, according to the info that I found, and of course, one is in purple. So hey, we're about to run it on the track for her warm up and official laps. So let's turn it around, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this Play Robotics apparatus here because it has been fantastic to use and it has held up because I usually will do, not usually, I always do 30 runs in a row every time I do this. So a couple little tweaks I had to make, but Alex at Play Robotics was very helpful in the beginning when I was having some issues with the functionality, but it was because I didn't have like the info. So he provided the info, and it's been great. I love this system, and even though this is for the 6-lane track highway, super highway, I think for Hot Wheels, that's what it was designed for. And when I turn it around, I'll show you a little bit more. I am gonna take a look at getting one for the 2-lane to do a 2-lane for the drag strip. I keep talking about the 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip. I think that'll be good too. I do have a speed trap for it, so I can also note the actual miles per hour / kilometers per hour. But it'll also be good to know the timing and have that extra data point. Okay, so what do you say? Let's turn this thing around and take a look at her on the in her lane as she gets ready for her run. Before we start this run, and no, I am not sponsored by Play Robotics, but I want to give them a shout out because I really enjoy this using the system. That's the thing here. It just literally clips on. These are screws that are for this thing, but I didn't actually have to screw it on. It just snapped right on, clipped right on to the end here of this track. You can see from both sides. Up close, that little arm with the screw that goes right into the lever. And yeah, and let's go down this track. You'll see the geometry, got the various cars. Here's the system, the end gate. You can see it in full. Now, one of the things, if you have one of these and you haven't figured it out, sometimes shadow can trip the gate. So you want to always, if you get a weird reading or something happens, you may want to just double check that you didn't walk maybe in and cast a shadow and all that. The sensors mechanism right here. You can use either by manual, but here's the pad that I use. And on this pad, you can do resets. You can adjust how you want the display to work. So I've got this set up. I typically, for these other races, I'll use all the lanes or some of the lanes, but for the testing, I always use lane 5. This looks like lane 2 if you're going this way, but labeled up here as we head back, you'll see how they have that's lane 1, 2, 3. So we always use lane 5. All right, time to take a look. She's a little narrow. My assessment, my assumption is she's going to have a little bit of a swim because there is some play in the front and rear axles. So let's go. Here's the official. Well, no, this is the warm-up run, but always the very first run as we track the progression of fastest and slowest warm-up laps. Woo! She got a little hustle, and she knocked over 1.898, starting off in the 1.8s. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Well, this Barbie Dream Camper has been no slouch. So far, she just kept getting faster, only had one slower lap than the initial one, so got all the way to 1.858 on the last warm-up lap. But there was a really nice progression that I'll mention. So as always, I always put the measurements, the info, well, maybe not all the measurements, but much of the info and the results into the details. But if anybody wants to know the actual measurements that I had today, you can always reach out. Just shoot me a note in the on the YouTubes, and or if you're following up me also on Instagram, we got Peak Speed Lab 164 and Slot Cars LLC, or excuse me, Slot Rods LLC. And I'll post videos there too, because I was doing some slots, only a couple of things in the beginning, but we're sticking with the 164 diecast stuff right now. Anyway, that's a lot of yapping. Let's get back to lapping. We're going to do these 10 official laps right now. All right, so meet me at the top of the ramp. It's right over there. See, told you. Now we're over here. Now check this out again, right in the middle. We're getting ready to run this short form drag strip. This is lap 1 of her official 10. Woo! Almost surpassed. I couldn't keep up with her. 1.864. That's near one of the faster speeds. Let's see how she does for the other 9. Cue music. Okay, we are on the last lap. Wow, that lap 9, 1.919. We hadn't seen the 19s in a while, so, don't know what happened there, but stuff happens. Lap 10, official. Oh, and that is not the fastest lap. I was thinking 1.831. Got slower in those last couple of laps. Maybe she's getting tired or needs to hit a gas station. All right, let's see. Let's get this stuff in. The data here, results. As you can see, this is warm-up lap one, number 5, 1.858, which matched the fastest of the warm-up laps. Slowest was 1.905 of the warm-up laps, but as you can see, 1.9 actually over there on the gate was 1.931. So, she was more stable than we expected her to be, given her axle play and the narrowness of how narrow she was. She was pretty stable. Didn't swim much. All right, let's plug this info in, see where she falls. Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, where gravity and mass, massive mass. Anyway, gravity and mass meet friction. The ramp decides the results. Yes, like I said, the Barbie Dream Camper came at the bottom end of the C weight class. Metal base, very top heavy. I expected the top heaviness. Well, yeah, sometimes with the metal base, you never know because it does seem to add a little bit more weight. But anyway, the results were pretty surprising to me. We'll see how she fared against the rest of the vehicles in her weight class. And then, of course, overall, this is car number, this might be 37. I'm gonna have to double check. You know what? I for the last couple of rounds, now that we've had so many vehicles, I'm not quite remembering. So anyway, I'll double check. It'll be in the notes in the details. But I think it's time, as we always respect the folks who came up with the ideas, who were the inspiration, who did the crafting and the development of the molds and the design and the um the packaging and sending, all the things, right? We want to make sure, there we go, that they are recognized. We appreciate them. And it's time for, the Dream Camper, I'm sure, had many moments of glory, but let's get her on the lighted spinning. Let's try that again. Get her on the lighted spinning pedestal right now. I'm going to do it like, let her float down to her perch.